A Senate vote is scheduled for tomorrow to end debate and take up a hard-fought border security deal. Will the latest amendment be enough to soothe Republican concerns over the bill? And what her own tough on immigration state plans to do next. Arizona Governor Jan Brewer joins us now live with some thoughts on this whole thing. Governor, great to see you.
Nice to see you, Shannon.
All right, Governor, I would assume that you agree, as others do on both sides of the Hill and both sides of the aisle, that something needs to be done about immigration. Why do you think what we're seeing now in the Senate is the right or wrong thing?
Well, I think that what we're seeing taking place in the Senate is a victory for Arizona. I'm glad that they finally decided to talk about the border surge that we've called out for since 2010, asking them to take control of our border, operational control. And I think this is a great step forward in regards to that.
What about the critics' questions about how much discretion is built in, and the fact that the triggers and minimum standards and different things, judgments about whether they're being met so that people can move forward through the path to citizenship, that there's a lot of discretion with the Department of Homeland Security and others about whether or not to waive those, to say they've actually been met, and that the teeth of the bill essentially are left in the hands of a few people with a lot of discretion?
Well, the bottom line is that I think what they're getting ready to debate on Monday at 5:30, I understand, is a step in the right direction, and it's about time. Hopefully, as it gets out of the Senate, moves over to the House, then it can be debated once again, and it can be looked at more closely. But the bottom line, I think, that the public believes is that we need our borders secure before we move forward on any of this other on these other provisions that they're talking about. We were promised before that the border would be secured, and it didn't happen. And I think that the public overwhelmingly agrees that our borders need to be secured, and then we need to discuss the legalization or the pathway to citizenship. I personally believe in a robust work situation. We need the workers. We need a lot of those people in Arizona. But we have to be satisfied that it's going to occur. And the first step is those resources on the border.
I want to ask you about another important decision that you've made, and something that you fought hard to make happen in Arizona, actually signing on to the Medicaid expansion that comes hand in hand with the president's new health care law. The Supreme Court gave states some discretion in doing that. I know that you've taken heat over it. You said it wasn't the easy decision, but it was the right one. So tell us why.
Well, it was a long deliberation process for me. I didn't do it lightly, but the voters twice in Arizona have voted to expand Medicaid. So we decided that, taking everything into consideration, and it was going to cost our taxpayers a penny, that we would move forward and restore the expansion. So that's what the legislature and I have done. And in 3 years, there is a trigger in there. We call it a circuit breaker, that it goes away if the government doesn't continue to give us our 90% of funding for it. So it's a win-win for Arizona. And Shannon, the bottom line is the people in Arizona have voted for it, and they send their federal dollars to the federal government. And all we're doing is bringing those federal dollars back home to Arizona, treating the people that desperately need the care, keeping our hospitals, particularly in the rural area, open, and employment and jobs. And that's our goal. So I think that it was a win-win for everyone in Arizona. Every state is different. It was the right thing for the people of Arizona.
Well, I got to ask you, since we're talking about the Supreme Court, I've seen you a lot there the last couple of years. Arizona spent a lot of time at the Supreme Court. Your reaction to the ruling this week that essentially said that Arizona can't require above and beyond federal requirements for people who come to register to vote, that they show documents proving U.S. citizenship. I know that some there say they're discouraged by the ruling, but also see a way forward based on the opinion written by Justice Scalia saying that you have other ways to challenge that down the road.
Well, I think the ruling actually said that we could use our state forms, we could require ID. But the bottom line is that we know that the federal registration form, you don't have the ability to request that. That's unfortunate. I think that that needs to be remedied. I think that United States citizens that are here in Arizona want to know that you're United States citizens when you vote. And you need ID when you get a library card. Why can't you have ID to show that you're a citizen when you go to vote? Our most precious ability to be a United States citizen is that ability to vote and cast your vote and have it counted correctly. So I'm hoping that they come up with a solution, and that total ruling and opinion from the court is overruled.
We know that fight is far from over. Governor Jan Brewer, great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.